Welcome to our channel dedicated to honoring the journey of aging with grace, dignity, and emotional strength. In this deeply reflective guide, we explore a reality many older adults quietly endure: the emotional shift in family relationships, particularly with adult children as time passes. This isn't about bitterness or blame. It's about recognizing when your presence feels more like an obligation than a welcome embrace, and learning how to protect your emotional well-being in the process. As we age, the desire for meaningful connection doesn't fade, but the dynamics often change, leaving many feeling sidelined or emotionally neglected. Our goal is not to sever ties, but to empower you to create healthy emotional boundaries, recognize your self-worth, and step into a space where peace, respect, and joy take center stage in your golden years. The fading light. When presence feels invisible, have you ever entered a room filled with your loved ones, only to feel like a ghost among them? Seen, perhaps, but not truly acknowledged? It's a quiet kind of heartbreak, one that cuts deeper when it comes from your children. You may be the one who always reaches out first, offers unasked help, fills in the silences, yet you're met with distracted glances, brief replies, or a growing sense that your role in their lives is fading. What once felt like mutual love now feels like routine, as if your care is expected but no longer appreciated. This emotional distance is not imagined. It's a subtle but profound shift, whispering the painful thought, "Maybe I'm no longer needed." Coming to terms with this can be one of the most difficult challenges in aging, but it's also a pivotal moment, one where you can choose to reclaim your peace, prioritize self-respect, and surround yourself with relationships that truly value your presence. For decades, many of us have been conditioned to believe that family bonds are sacred, that love equates to endless giving, and that loyalty demands unwavering perseverance. While these virtues hold immense beauty, they also harbor a hidden danger. In our relentless pursuit of being the good parent, the understanding grandparent, or the patient sibling, we risk slowly diminishing ourselves, becoming a shadow in our own narratives. This phenomenon, often termed emotional exhaustion or relationship fatigue, can lead to profound sadness and a feeling of being undervalued. Consider the poignant story of a woman in her 70s, a narrative echoed by countless individuals. She faithfully visits her daughter's home every Sunday, a ritual spanning decades. She contributes generously, preparing meals, assisting with chores, and engaging with her grandchildren. Yet, she observes a chilling silence. Her daughter is preoccupied, her son-in-law barely acknowledges her, and the grandchildren are absorbed in their own worlds. She sits, smiling politely, her heart aching with a profound sense of invisibility. Upon returning home, tears often flow, not from outright cruelty, but from the crushing weight of their indifference. "Am I expecting too much?" she questions. The answer is a resounding no. She's merely yearning for the fundamental human needs of acknowledgement, validation, and respect. When these core tenets are absent, what remains is not love, but a hollow shell of routine, habit, and lingering guilt. Perpetuating this cycle, week after week, slowly corrodes one's spirit, implanting the insidious belief that being sidelined is an inevitable part of senior life, and that diminished expectations are the only solace. This constant state of emotional neglect can lead to feelings of loneliness and a loss of self-worth. Reclaiming your worth. The power of stepping back. It's crucial to understand that you possess an undeniable right to safeguard your inner peace, even if it means creating distance from your own children, siblings, or lifelong companions. Respect is not an inherited right. It's earned through consistent, considerate behavior. Far too often we conflate patience with passiveness, allowing transgressions to slide to avoid being a burden or creating awkwardness. We swallow our sadness hoping it will dissipate, only to find it morphing into a bitter resentment that poisons our very being. How much longer can you endure this emotional ache before it transforms into an irreversible bitterness? How many more times will you rationalize their emotional distance before you begin to question your own inherent value? This isn't an advocacy for radical severance. It's an urgent call for self-advocacy. It's about consciously choosing yourself, asserting your intrinsic worth, and declaring that you will no longer diminish your essence to fit into the cramped confines of someone else's limited affection. You were not designed to be merely tolerated. You were created to be profoundly loved, appreciated, and cherished. This profound shift is about prioritizing your mental health and emotional well-being. What does genuine respect truly entail? It's not about extravagant gestures or flowery pronouncements. It's woven into the fabric of daily interactions. A sincere effort to connect, meaningful eye contact, a thoughtful message expressing care, a visit that feels like a conscious choice, rather than a burdensome chore, and a voice that visibly brightens at the sound of yours on the phone. When these fundamental expressions of care consistently disappear, it is not only permissible but necessary to step back. This withdrawal isn't a punitive measure, it's a profound act of self-healing. Stepping back doesn't diminish your love for them, it amplifies your love for yourself, signaling a refusal to perpetually chase after fleeting crumbs of attention. You are unequivocally entitled to choose peace over pain, to acknowledge the profound grief for what once was, and to resolutely refuse to endure ongoing hurt simply to maintain proximity. This act of setting boundaries is a vital component of healthy aging, the cost of waiting. Embracing your own story, a common retort surfaces. What if they change? What if they're just busy? What if I wait a little longer? These are valid questions, and indeed, people can evolve. However, we must confront the opportunity cost of this endless waiting. How many precious months, even years, will you squander, clinging to the fragile hope that they will suddenly awaken to your intrinsic worth? And in that agonizing interim, how much of your vibrant self will you irrevocably lose? Your 60s, 70s, and 80s are finite chapters in your life's grand narrative. You have this singular, invaluable moment to imbue with profound meaning and personal fulfillment. If someone consistently demonstrates that you are not a priority in their life, it is unequivocally time to stop making them the epicenter of yours. This is about taking control of your personal narrative and becoming the author of your own destiny. You are not a peripheral character in someone else's story. You are the undisputed author of your own epic journey. You possess the inherent right to dictate where your invaluable energy flows. Sometimes the most courageous and compassionate act you can undertake is to lovingly step back, asserting, I will no longer present myself where my presence is no longer genuinely seen or valued. This is a powerful declaration of self-respect. Visualize this. If you plant a delicate flower in barren, unyielding soil, regardless of how diligently you nurture it with water, it will inevitably wither. The flower's inherent weakness is not the culprit. The environment is simply incompatible with its thriving. Therefore, instead of succumbing to self-blame for your inability to flourish in an unsupportive environment, perhaps it's time for a transformative replanting in soil, rich with warmth, ample light, and genuine care. This might manifest as fewer obligatory visits, a reduction in strained phone calls, and an embrace of more tranquil afternoons dedicated to activities that genuinely ignite your joy. Perhaps delving into captivating books, embarking on solitary walks amidst nature, acquiring new knowledge, or cultivating new friendships with individuals who genuinely uplift your spirit rather than draining your vital energy. While the initial transition may feel unsettling, that meticulously created space, forged by the courageous act of releasing what caused you immense pain, will gradually expand, creating fertile ground for something immeasurably better. You are not here to supplicate for attention. You are not here to earn love through protracted suffering. You are here to be respected, cherished, and unequivocally free. The precise moment you cease channeling your precious energy into those incapable of appreciating it is the seminal moment you begin to reclaim your power. This is about empowerment and emotional freedom, the truth of absence, a revelation, not a loss. A natural apprehension arises. If I create distance, What will be the repercussions? Will they even notice? Will they care? Will I simply feel more profoundly alone? These are undeniably crucial questions, and the answers may not align with your cherished desires. In some instances, they may indeed fail to notice. They may continue their lives as if your absence is inconsequential. This outcome can wound more deeply than any sharp word. Yet this pain, as searing as it may be, simultaneously unveils a truth you have diligently avoided. When someone fails to reach out, when your absence feels lighter than your presence, you haven't lost a genuine relationship. You have merely shed a powerful illusion. This stark realization, though heartbreaking, is also profoundly liberating. You are no longer bound to a space where you are merely tolerated. You are no longer compelled to perpetually chase after individuals who have ceased to meet you halfway. Love that flows exclusively in one direction will, without exception, eventually desiccate. The longer you continue to pour from your own diminishing cup without replenishment, the more irrevocably empty you become. This isn't an injunction to cultivate bitterness or coldness. It's an invitation to cultivate wisdom, the profound discerning capacity to understand when to tenaciously hold on and when to gracefully release. Walking away is not a testament to failure. It is a powerful declaration of growth and self-awareness. Consider the poignant analogy of a child's fleeting interest in a beloved toy. Initially, it's an inseparable companion, but over time it's casually tossed aside, not because its inherent value has diminished, but because its perpetual presence has been taken for granted. This mirrors how some individuals navigate relationships. They operate under the unwavering assumption that you will always be present, always acquiescent, always understanding. Gradually, your unwavering consistency fades into invisibility. But what transpires when the cherished toy inexplicably vanishes? What unfolds when they frantically search for it, only to discover its absence? It is in that profound void that remembrance ignites, questions arise, and the true meaning of what was lost finally registers. This isn't about engaging in manipulative games or testing their fidelity. It's about affording others the opportunity to genuinely feel your absence. If someone truly values your presence, they will undeniably notice your withdrawal. They will perceive the quiet void where your voice once resonated. And if they remain oblivious, that very silence speaks volumes, revealing a profound truth about their true sentiments. There is an inherent dignity that blossoms when you cease knocking on stubbornly closed doors, when you desist from begging for the bare minimum. From individuals who possess so much more to generously offer, yet choose to withhold it. In this profound act of remembering, you begin to reconnect with your authentic self, shedding the restrictive roles you have long inhabited, the giver, the helper, the tireless peacekeeper. And in that powerful remembrance, a transformative process unfolds. You begin to ask profoundly new questions. What do I genuinely desire for myself now? What truly ignites my soul and makes me feel vibrantly alive? Who do I genuinely wish to surround myself with, not out of burdensome duty, but out of pure, unadulterated joy? It is never too late to meticulously construct a different kind of life, one where your unique presence is deeply appreciated, not carelessly assumed. A life where your invaluable time is judiciously invested in people and environments that genuinely bring you profound peace. A life where you are liberated from the perpetual burden of proving your worth, for you have already unequivocally decided that you inherently matter. This is about personal growth and positive relationships, the sacred act of choosing yourself, unlocking your future. There's a profound quote that resonates deeply. You don't have to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. Yet countless individuals have inadvertently done precisely that. We've relentlessly burned through our finite reserves of patience, our precious time, and even our vital health, all in a desperate, often futile attempt to sustain relationships that offer little in return. But true love should never leave you utterly exhausted. It should never diminish your spirit or make you feel inherently smaller. Authentic love nourishes, it uplifts, and it gives as generously as it receives. So if you consistently find yourself perpetually initiating, ceaselessly reminding, or endlessly trying to fix things, pause. Ask yourself a radical question. What would happen if I simply stopped? If I ceased being the first to call? If I refrained from visiting only to feel utterly unwanted? If I stopped contorting myself to fit into their rigid schedules, their fleeting conveniences, their self-contained world, would they reach out? Would they genuinely miss your presence? Or would they simply continue, utterly unaffected? Regardless of the outcome, the truth will be unveiled, and that truth, even if initially painful, is an invaluable gift. Because once you cease the exhausting pursuit of what consistently ignores you, you create an expansive, welcoming space for what truly sees and cherishes you. Some of the most profoundly meaningful relationships you will cultivate in this vibrant stage of your life may emerge from entirely unexpected avenues. A thoughtful neighbor who regularly checks in, a kindred spirit encountered in an enriching class or a stimulating book club, or a new community that embraces you unequivocally for who you are today, not just for the person you once were. This is about community building and finding your tribe. However, to truly receive these newfound blessings, you require ample space, emotional space, mental space, and sometimes, simply, physical distance. And often that necessitates a courageous stepping back from individuals who once held the most profound significance in your life, because holding on to those strained connections is no longer serving your healing journey. Let's be clear. This doesn't automatically equate to severing ties entirely. For some, a slight distance is all that's required to restore a vital balance. Space can foster profound clarity, and it also grants others the essential opportunity to reflect on their own behavior. But even if their actions remain unchanged, something fundamentally transformative will shift within you. You will cease the perpetual waiting. You will relinquish the futile hope that someone else will define your inherent worth. You will begin the monumental act of choosing yourself, and that singular choice will reverberate, transforming every facet of your existence. You are not being selfish for yearning for respect. You are not being cold for needing reciprocity. You are not being dramatic for courageously stepping away from what consistently causes you pain. You are undeniably human, and you are inherently worthy of relationships that genuinely honor your presence, not merely exploit it. This is about self-love and healthy boundaries. The path forward. Living your own story as you contemplate these profound insights. I invite you to engage in a moment of radical honesty with yourself, not with the crushing weight of guilt or the paralyzing grip of fear, but with an abundance of compassion. What would it truly feel like to no longer supplicate for a love that has withered into silence? To no longer place your precious life on an indefinite pause for individuals who refuse to press play for you? You possess an inherent right to peace, to unadulterated joy, to laughter that flows freely without the underlying tension of unspoken grievances. You deserve conversations where your voice isn't habitually talked over or carelessly tuned out. You deserve to walk into any room and feel genuinely wanted, not merely needed. There is a profound distinction between the two. One elevates your spirit, the other mercilessly drains it. And the beautiful, liberating truth is this: you get to decide. You get to choose who walks beside you in this vibrant, unfolding season of your life. You are not irrevocably bound by the echoes of the past. You are not eternally obligated to continue playing a role that no longer authentically fits your evolving self. You are profoundly free, and freedom, at this juncture of your life, is one of the most magnificent gifts you can bestow upon yourself. So if today you find yourself experiencing a gentle sadness, a subtle sense of being lost, allow that feeling to simply be. Let it pass through you like a fleeting, gentle wind. Then take a deep, cleansing breath. Allow a soft smile to grace your lips. Stand up slowly, and with quiet conviction, remind yourself, I am no longer waiting. I am unequivocally living. No more. Relentlessly chasing after invitations that perpetually fail to materialize. No more agonizing over why your heartfelt messages go inexplicably unanswered. No more contorting your entire life around the fragile hope of someone else's fleeting attention. You are not a transient guest in the lives of others. You are the gracious host of your own magnificent existence. This is about intentional living and life design. And yes, some individuals will simply never comprehend why you chose to take a decisive step back. Allow them their misunderstanding. Your profound peace is not subject to debate. You do not require an explanation. You require honor. And if they are incapable of offering that, you gracefully walk away, not in bitterness, but in a profound act of self-love. It is unequivocally time to cease sacrificing your vital energy to empty spaces. Time to stop endlessly rehearsing hypothetical conversations in your mind, clinging to the naive hope that next time it will finally be different. Time to stop offering your tender heart to those who have long since ceased reaching out for. Your life is no longer a desolate waiting room. It is a warm, inviting home. And you, and only you, get to decide who is truly welcome inside its cherished walls. So take another deep breath. Feel the solid ground beneath your feet. You are still here. You still profoundly matter. And the years stretching before you can be some of the most liberating, the most peaceful, and the most deeply meaningful you have ever known. Because now, you are no